Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are watching my video for the first time, please subscribe. Today we'll try to discuss regarding the introduction to DSS Design of Steel Structures Part 4. And coming to here, we'll see some of the definition parts. What do you mean by a characteristic load? It is nothing but the value of different loads that are not expected to exceed greater than 5% during the life of a structure. Suppose any load we are taking, any of the loads, like in the last class we have seen regarding the different types of loads. So in those, if n number of loads like dead load, live load, wind load, snow load, etc., if they are exceeding during the life of the structure, that exceeding should not exceed 5%. That exceeding should not exceed 5%. It is nothing but characteristic load. Okay, and if I know the characteristic load, if that load multiplied with the load partial safety factor with respect to loads, then it is called as a design load. So in general, irrespective of the load combinations, we will be taking a factor of safety of 1.5 in case of limit state method, but based upon the load combinations, these values will be varying. So we'll see in the next tabular column what is the partial safety factors for loads under the different load combinations. Next, if I know the ultimate strength, I can calculate the design strength by taking the by dividing the ultimate strength with the partial safety factor here of a material, because the strength of a structure depends upon its material strength. Okay, so how much value like that. So we'll be seeing the tabular column for this partial safety factor for different materials also. And now on what are the factors which are governing the ultimate strength of a structure? Okay, the main factors which are governing is its stability, its fatigue and plastic collapse. Coming to the stability, the structure should be checked against stability with respect to the overturning and some sliding, that is sway action you are supposed to check. And fatigue, what do you mean by fatigue? It is nothing but a reversal of stresses that may happen. For example, if I take a bridge, so bridge will be resting on, suppose if it is a single span bridge, it will be resting on abutments directly. If it is having a 2 or 3 ventways, in between you will be having the piers. So suppose if a bridge is resting on 2 abutments like that, so in those between, generally what happens when a vehicle is moving, it will be undergoing the tension, and if it is a normal condition, it comes to its original position. So this is what happening. If a vehicle is going, it is going under tension. If it is not going, it is coming to compression. This action of is nothing but called as a reversal of stresses. So that is nothing but a fatigue property. And coming to the plastic collapse, this is nothing but called as a collapse mechanism, that is plastic moment of resistance will be developing. We'll see this topic regarding the plastic collapse in your design of beams part. Next, coming to the partial safety factors for different for loads for under different combinations are under limit state of strength and limit state of serviceability. So in the last previous video we have discussed regarding what is the different types of, what is the limit state of strength. It is nothing but called as a collapse. Next, limit state of serviceability, we will be checking here and we will be designing under this one. And coming to the different load combinations, I will elaborate here. This is a dead load, live load, wind load, or earthquake load. EL means what? Earthquake load. Now here, next, dead load or wind load or earthquake load, dead load plus erection load. Now if the load combination, if I am supposed to take dead load and live load only, then The partial safety factors for loads under the dead load is 1.5 in case of limit state of strength, and here it is 1.5. Coming to the serviceability, it is 1 and 1. Next, under the combination of these two, now see here, I have given dead load, live load plus wind load or earthquake load. Oblique I have given. Earthquake load means, suppose if at all on a structure we are supposed to design, he is taking the wind, considering the wind load as per the zone, and the earthquake load based upon the previous history of the intensity or magnitude of that particular area. So based upon that one, higher of these two values are supposed to be considered here. Now why I am taking higher of these two values means both these will be acting in the horizontal direction on the structure. For that reason we will be taking. So based upon these are the load partial safety factors 1.2, 1.2, 1.2, and under serviceability criteria here 1.8, 0.8. Coming to the dead load and only wind load or earthquake load, 1.5, 0.9, this is in bracket, I will be telling you later, and because of no live load hyphen, and this is the wind load. And here also under serviceability conditions, these are the two values. Coming to dead load and erection load, see, erection load will be acting as a live load only. Why I am taking this as a live load? Because at the time of execution or fabrication of the work only it will be happening. Later on it will be disappear. Because of it is disappearing, it won't comes under the dead load like that. And see here at 1.2 and 1.1, and under serviceability conditions we won't consider this one. Why? Because erection load will be happened at the time of execution only, not throughout its lifespan. Okay, and that is the reason. And coming to why I have kept this in a star is because to take into consideration the stability under the overturning or any stress reversals. Means if a structure which you are going to design, it may happen, it may be having a chances of getting overturned or fatigue. In those situations only you are supposed to take as a 0.9, because if a structure is getting overturning means definitely horizontal pressure will be there. Based on that only overturning may occur, so that its self weight may reduce. So that is the load factor you are supposed to reduce by 0.9 value. And coming to the partial safety factors for the materials, see here under three conditions: yielding, buckling, and ultimate stress is nothing but a rupture. For those things, in the design of tension members we will be using these values while calculating the cross section yielding due to yielding, rupture, block shear, like that you will be calculating. So here those values will be taken. Yielding means what? Elongation of a member in its longitudinal direction. Failure of a member in its longitudinal direction is nothing but yielding. Coming to the buckling, next ultimate stresses, and these are the resistance to be towards the connection. There are different types of connections, that is bolted connection, riveted, and welded. Up to now we have a syllabus regarding the welded connections in your diploma subjects. And shop and site, generally bolted or riveted or welding can be done in the field or at the site itself. So while doing in the site, they will be having n number of things will be there while fabricating, but in the field you may not have all the things which are using for the fabrication things. For that reason, under the welding connections, 1.25 is under shop welding, and site welding you are supposed to take more factor of safety because of some less equipment for doing the welding things. Okay, so these are some of the factor of safety for materials. I hope you have understood regarding this video, and most probably this is my fourth video on this introduction to design of steel structures, and everything has been covered from this introduction to design of steel structures. In the further videos I will try to take topic on design of fillet welds. Thank you for watching my video. Please, if you like the video, do like, share, subscribe for more videos. Thank you.